Hi there and welcome to my advanced payroll system. This payroll system was developed using embedded access database, and I officially have a tutorial of that access online right now on YouTube. Let me just show you how this works. So for this very person, Susan Summers, if I click on our wages, which is that's our basic wage, so we need to know the tax, her pension, how much she has to pay for her student loan, her national insurance. Okay, so if I click on wages details, that's what we end up with. So that's the amount she's paying for her tax, pension, student loan, and national insurance. The total deduction is 832 plus. So we can always print out a pay slip for her. So you click on that, that's her own pay slip. You can see that's her name right there, home address, the company she's working for, which is a DJ Omen Airline. Okay, so these are pay slips, so it's private and confidential, just for her alone. So and details of her personal details is right there. The date of the payment, the period, that's period 3, tax code, national insurance number, and NI code. Okay, I have all of this information. Most of them you guys know what they're for anyway, and here those are the payment, and in total that's our take home, and we have our net pay, which is the net pay right there. So what I would do next is let me just show you one or two more things in this very system before I take you to the development environment. Right up here I've also incorporated a print preview, which is right here. So if I click on that, let's just increase that so that you guys can see it. So that's that might be a bit too big. Okay, that's a print preview. I don't have a printer here. That's it. That's just the pay slip, so she can always print out her own pay slip online. The next thing I'll show to you guys is the complete database. Here we have the complete database, and that's Susan right there. So we can also store the details of our wages, which is right here. You can store that as we can do that by clicking on save. Right, that's it. You see all of the remaining information of Susan right there. So let's go to the next person. I don't know who that might be. We can click on next, move next. That's it. That's the next guy. So let's see that guy's wages. The guy's wages is okay, the basic salary is 2,300 plus a little bit. I think Susan received more than this very person. Okay, so let's see. We can also print out a pay slip for this very person. Okay, you can see that's his own pay slip, and let's just update it. So let's go to our database to confirm that this is updated. Let's come here. So I'm going to say update. Okay, right there you see all of those information has been saved on the database. So this is a very useful system for those of you who like to play around with database or develop a project using database. So the next thing I'm going to do now is take you guys straight into the development environment so that you guys see how I've put this together. So I'm going to develop another one from scratch. So let's go into Visual Basic now. So I will open up my new project right here. So let's give it a name. Click on new project and select Windows Forms application. Click on OK. So this very one, I will call the name of this form. Let me call that payroll. Yeah, pay_roll. Okay, payroll underscore. Let's say payroll system. That's fine. Payroll system. Let's move this one back. So that's fine. Click on OK. So the form itself, let's change the size of the form in the first place. Okay, let's change that to Windows. Let's come right down here. We have Windows. That's good. So that becomes white, and the size of the form, let me make that 1,386 by 717. So that's my form right there sorted. So the next thing is, let me get some of these group box, place that in there, but I will now change color of this very group box to something a little bit darker. Let's see, yeah, that will do. That's cool. So I need about 4 or 5 of those. In total I'm going to need about 6 or more. Okay, so just click and drag. I have my second one there, my third one. So as soon as I finish this, the design of the interface, I'll get back to you guys. Okay guys, so far this is how the interface is looking right now. So what I'm going to do next is just to get my database. So let me show you where my database is. So I will minimize this. That's my database right there. Let's double click on it. That's the database that I intend to use. I have a tutorial on this very database on YouTube already. Okay, you see all of the data, and right here you will notice these following columns from student loan all the way to NI payment. There is no data in there. Those are the data that you will have to make up yourself. Okay, the system will make that up for you, and once you click on update or save, all of those information will be saved right in here. Okay, so I'm gonna import this. Let's close that and get started. There's nothing to save there. Just say okay. Let's close that. No. Alright, so let's go back to my new development. That's it. So the next thing I'll do is go to data source, add new data. Make sure your database is selected. Click on next. Click on next again. Notice that's data set. Then now when you get to this dialog area, all you need to do is click on new connection. Once the new connection is selected, change this very one. Make sure you click on that and select access, because I'm using access database, I'm not using SQL. So click on OK. Alright, then this dialog box then pops up. You see the admin username. I'm going to get rid of the admin. I'm not going to enter any password. So let's browse to where my database is. I think that's it right here. Click on new, on OK. Now let's test it. That's it, is working fine. Then just click on OK. Then click on next. This information right there is telling you that the database is going to be saved inside your project. So click on yes. Now click on next. Now select table, because all of the information are right here anyway. Look, there they are. All of the information that we need is right there. Okay, now click on finish, and that's it, done. So the next thing you need to do is to now go to show data source. That's my show data source in there. So I will now continue with my development. So the first thing I want to do now, I will now get the following. Get the employee name. Let's move it down a little bit, then followed by the address 1, address 2, and the postcode there. So I will now get the employer right here, paste that right here. So if I run this program now, what you guys will see, it will be as follows. Let me just see, you see that's Susan's details and employer details there. And right here, if you're wondering why do I have numbers in there, these numbers are going to be calculator. So I will convert all of these to calculator, just in case you want to verify what the wages you pay in a particular employee. So let's continue. Now that I have this in place, I'm going to modify each individual object. So this very one, I will open up the property. Let me change that property to, let's go to border style, change it from fixed 3D to none. So it's now going to be invisible. You won't be able to see anything. So I just know where it is. Okay, you see this employee, I'm going to change that to change the font size. I'm going to change it to webbing, right? And let's change this to about maybe 48. Yeah, that's fine. Now I will copy an airplane here in Word. I think I have an airplane that I want to copy. There it is. Let me make another copy of that. I need 3 of those. Let's increase the font size. Yeah, that's fine. So that is the logo of my, so close. I've copied it. I'll now paste it right in here. Let's go to the text value here. That's the text value. Delete everything, paste that in there. Bang, now I have my 3 airplanes. There they are. Okay, that one is ready now, so place that in there. Okay, so let me continue with the rest of the data. So the next thing is to get the employer name again. Employee. Okay, let's get the employee. I need the employer. Yeah, there it is, employer, and paste that in there, up there, and get the reference. Yeah, right there. Drag it, drop it there. Then for the next one, I need the inner city within and basic salary. Where is that? It's my basic salary there. Drag it, drop it on board. So I will now speed this up and just get back to you guys as soon as I finish. Let me speed it up. Okay guys, this is how the interface is looking right now. You see that? So, and even the database, there's nothing in there. I might as well just drag the database in here now. Yeah, that's my database there. Well, let's undo that and get it where I want it. Okay, that's my database. So if I run this program right now, let me just close this and run it and see how it looks. That is how it looks for now. Nothing is happening to my buttons right here, my calculator buttons, and in here we can move around, can look at each data by clicking on this here. But I also have my own navigating buttons here. They're not doing anything yet. Now let's see. That's the database. That's all of the database. If you want to have a look, there they are. Okay, come back there. And this very one is going to be my payslip, so which means we're going to have to write a couple of lines of code. We're going to write some lines of code for that. So let's go back. I need to make this thing looks a little bit neater. It looks very rough, so I'll make it neater before I start coding. So and I'll get back to you guys. Okay, I finished the modification, so let me just run it so that you guys see how it looks like. Yeah, that's how it's looking right now, but as you can see, none of these components works. They do nothing. So let's start coding so that we get the whole system to function as we want. So close that and let's double click on add. Let's start with the add. So that will be employee data binding source, yeah, dot add new. There, so that one is sorted. The next one, let's go for save. I think I might have something here. Yeah, me dot validate. If I copy that, that is the exact code for save. So I'm just gonna dump that in there. So that's sorted. So double click on that. The next one is I think that button is move previous. So that's going to be data source as well. Employee details binding source dot move previous, sorted. Then the next one is move next. Paste that in there, dot move next. Done. And then update is exactly the same line of code with this guy here. So maybe I will copy that and just dump it there, or I might even modify that, I don't know, but that's fine. What about delete? So double click on delete. So that's going to be this. There's that in there. So that becomes dot remove current. Yeah, that's it. Okay, now what else do we have? Payslip. I will come back to that, but let me finish up with exit. So I just call that application right here. Double click on the application dot exit. Alright, so all of those components should work as expected. If I run the program now, let's see. Okay, move next. Yeah, move next is working as we want. Can you guys see that? So move back, but the wages details, that's not working here. That's going to require a bit of coding and some calculations right there. Okay, exits, that works. That's cool. So the next thing we need to do now is why not, let's code wages. Payslip. Double click on the payslip, and we'll start by entering the following lines of code. So receipt, okay, dot text equals, so clear. I'm clear what we happen in that case is whatever data I have on my receipt here on the payslip, it will be cleared before another receipt can be shown. And then let's add line to the receipt. We say receipt dot append text, open a bracket, space, plus VB, that will be VB new line. Yeah, right there, and close that. So what I'll do now is to speed this up, and that is it, guys. That is the whole lines of code that will show the receipt. So let me maybe reduce the size a little bit for you guys so that you can see it all. Okay, can you see all of the codes right there? That's the code for the receipt. You need to see it. I'm sorry about this. Let's reduce it a little bit more, make it 10. Yep, hopefully you should be able to see it. Those are the lines of code, but if you want, you can always send me an email and I'll forward it to you. So these are the lines of code that makes up the payslip. Okay, so let's move here. Now you see everything there. Okay, or maybe I should even break it up into two. Yeah, there, and I should do that. Yeah. Okay, let's repeat the same thing for the other one. Yeah, I think that's fine. Maybe this. Okay, so if I run this program right now, see all of the data in here. Let's look at Susan. If I click on the receipt, and that's it, that's what you get for Susan. Supposing I move next to Peter. So if I click on receipt for Peter, take a good look at this. This is for Susan. So if I click on the payslip, can you see that of Peter is now there? You see, that is the whole idea, or that's the reason why I had to clear it. You notice I cleared the receipt before entering another data, so that's fine. So the next thing we now need to do is the calculation. Let's finish up with the calculation right here, just right here, and after that we'll take care of the calculator itself. So double click on that, on the wages, and just enter the following lines of codes. So those are the lines of codes for the calculation that will take place once I click on that very button there. So let's move this up a little bit. Yeah, that's fine. I think I might be able to increase the font size for you guys. Let's increase the font size to about 12. Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's fine in this case. Okay, those are the lines of code. Have a good look at it. It's just have a good look at it. Alright, so we'll move these down. So let's run the program now. If I run the program, it's taking its time. So let's give it another go. There, that's the program right there now. So all I need to do is just to click on this button, wage details. You can see that. So that's the basic wages of Susan. Supposing I would like to see the wages of someone else. Look at this, Patrick O'Hara. Look at the wages of Patrick O'Hara right there, £2,841 a month. That's the basic. If we add all of these to it, inner city waiting and overtime. So if we click on this, it gives us all of that, and the net pay is that. So all we need to do is to print a pay slip for Patrick, and that's Patrick's pay slip right there. So let's just save that. Once we save that of Patrick, we can go to the database and confirm that is Patrick right there. Okay, and let's confirm if all of the data has been saved for Patrick. Look at it right there, it's saved for Patrick. And that's how this advanced payroll system works. So the next thing that is remaining is just to get this calculator working. So I've done a lot of calculator for those of you who've been watching my video, so that shouldn't be a big deal. I can just copy one or two codes, dump it there, get that out of the way so that we can end this tutorial. Okay, in the case of the calculator, the first thing I'd like you guys to know is the following buttons. That's button 9 to button 1. I'm going to group them together. Okay, go to the event right here, select this event and change those to button underscore click there. Okay, so they now belong to one component, so right there. So all I need to now do is just write a few lines of codes. So let's start by, let's close that. I will declare dim b as button equals sender, and the next thing is if, let's say if I intend to use this, let me use this as my output. Yeah, that's fine, why not? Let's use that as my output. What's the name? Let's get the name of that better. Yeah, okay, or maybe this. Okay, if the deduction text box equals 0, then deduction.text box equals b.text, else deduction.text equals deduction.text plus b.text box. So what will happen is deduction, anytime I click on, if I click on 1, can you see it? 2, everything is now showing in deduction text box. Okay, the next thing is let's get this and this working. Alright, to get this working, so let's double click on that arrow and enter the following lines of code. So that is to delete, or we call it backspace. So if I enter whatever value in there, I can always backspace. Can you see that, guys? It's working as expected. So we need to clear now. So let's get the clear working as well. So I'll just clear. All I need to do is copy. Let me just copy that and just there. That's it. Clear is taken care of. So what is left for me to do is now let me group all of this arithmetic operator and convert it all to one single event. So click on the event and just name that, go to select click event and name that arithmetic operators. Yeah, that's fine, that's the name of that. So now enter the following lines of codes. So enter the following lines of code there for the arithmetic operator. So all that is left for me now is, as you can see, you see these ones, those are supposed to be variables. So let me just enter my variable here, then f as w, then op, now that'll be string, then s as double, and then a as a would be for my answer, double. So all of that is done and out of the way. So as you can see, the error is gone. Now the next thing left is just to code the equals button and the decimal button. Alright, so the decimal button, now double click on that, enter these lines of code for the decimal button. Now the next thing will be the equals button. So double click on the equals button and enter the following lines of code. Those are the lines of code for equals button right there. Look at it. Okay, if I move it up, that is the decimal code, the operator code, clear. We have clear there, and right up here we have backspace right there, and here this is just to add the numbers, add numbers onto the display there. So from here down, those are the lines of code for the calculator all the way. Okay, there, calculator up to here, and this is the calculation for the payslip. Right, so if I run the whole program now, let me run it. Everything is working as expected. This is just an ordinary design, so that's cool. Alright, so we now click on wages. That's for Susan. Move on, let's look for someone else. Okay, Ruth, that's fine. Let's go for Ruth. Yep. Or maybe Ian. Oh, okay, Mark. Alright, so select, that's it, that's the wages of Mark, and get the receipt for Mark. You can see receipt of Mr. Andrews, address of Mr. Andrews, and all of the necessary information for Mr. Andrews' payslip is right there. So guys, I'm just gonna call this the end of this tutorial, but before I leave, let me show you guys the codes one more time. Let's take it from the top. I have my declaration there for calculator. Here is the validation code. This was generated by the system itself. Okay, now this is my add new data, my own validation code to save or update, to move previous, to move next, to validate for the validation button, that's to delete, and here is the exit. These huge lines of code you guys are looking at is the wage slips lines of codes. So for you guys to be able to see it all, maybe I should just reduce. Let me reduce this. Let's go for 10. Yeah, the font size is now 10. I suppose you can see it. Alright, you must be able to see it. So just something missing here. Let's move it this way. Okay, you can see it all now. Right, so let's go down. These very lines of code is just for the wage slip. Okay, now let's move it down. And here, that's where the calculation took place. Right there. Okay, take it down again. and the rest lines of code is just for my calculator. However, if you have any need for it, you can always get in touch and just send me your email and I'll email the codes to you. But just before I go, that reminds me, let's insert print preview right there. We need something to do with print preview, so let me use, why not, I just use label, maybe a text box. Oh, the system is running, stop it. Okay, label, and we need to give that label a name. Let's come here and just give it a name. We will call that preview. Let me just call it preview. So okay, we have preview right there. Where is it? Right there. Okay, the next thing is I'm gonna need some objects. Let's come to, we need print documents, and we also need print preview dialog box. So I have those two objects right there. Okay, those two objects are there. Let's see, maybe I can move this up for you guys to see. There they are. Okay, move it back down. I will now select print preview and come to where it says document. Can you see the print preview object? See where it says document right there? Click on it and select print document 1 there. Okay, the next thing is to double click on print document 1, double click on it and enter the following graphic right there, dot draw. We want you to draw a string. Might as well just write it out. Draw string. Okay, the string to be drawn is txt receipt dot text, comma. Now I need a font right there, this very font, and comma, my type of font. Let's go for this brush. Okay, alright, dot black, that's it. Double click on that, and the size will be 120 by 120. So that is that done. Good. So the next thing is, let me double click on this my preview. Double click on the preview. Okay, now in the preview we say print dot show dialog right there, and that is that done. So if I run this very program now, we should be able to see the print preview. So let's say I enter all of my data in here. Well, let's use someone else. Okay, alright, let's go for maybe Peter. Click on Peter. That's it right there, Peter's wage slip. So let's preview it, and that is it, guys. You see how the print preview itself works. So let's increase the size to about 100, and that is that, guys. So with this, I'll just call it the end of this program. I suppose you all enjoy it. If you have any need for the code, just drop me a line and I'll forward the code to you guys. So you all have a nice day now.